To determine the tuition amount for the given student, we're going to have to match it to the level of school that they're in. I'll be using a VLOOKUP function. If your column is too narrow when you're entering a function, you may not be able to click on the cells that you need. So temporarily make the column wider, because you want to be able to use the point and click method to generate cell references. It's faster and more accurate. Equal VLOOKUP, I get the syntax of that function. First parameter is the lookup value. Tuition depends on the level of school, so lookup value is the level for that individual student. The next parameter is the table array. Where will you find the information you're trying to retrieve? That's located here, because what will happen is it will come and match the level for the individual student in the first column, and then we'll tell it which column in the table array has the information we're trying to retrieve. Notice I'm not including row 20 in this range reference. We don't include the column labels. I do press F4 to toggle that range into an absolute reference, because when I copy this formula to the other students, I want it to always be going to the same location for the table array, A21 through D24. The third parameter is the column index num, which in this case is 2, because I'm trying to retrieve the tuition associated with a given level of the school, and tuition is in the second column of the table array. Now this has nothing to do with the worksheet column. It's not because it's in column B of the worksheet, it's because it's in the second column of the table array. The range lookup in this case is an exact match. If you had made the column wider, you can put it back to a more appropriate size at this stage. I'll make column D wider while I'm entering the formula. The lunch rate also depends on the level of schools, so lookup value once again is level. Table array in same location. But this time we're trying to retrieve, for column index num, the lunch, which is in the third column of the table array, so I put 3. And again, it's an exact match. The insurance rate also depends on the level. Same table array. This time the column index num is column 4 to retrieve the insurance rate. Still an exact match because it's the same lookup value matching on the first column. Now this formula is not done, but I'll end it temporarily to show you what's happening here. What we're really getting is the insurance rate, the percentage. So to make that a dollar amount, what I'll have to do is continue the formula, and after I've retrieved the insurance rate, multiply it by the tuition. When computing the bus cost, we're going to have to retrieve information from a different table array, the one located in cells E21 through F24. First column in that table array gives you the distance in miles, and the second column gives you the cost per year. I'm going to do this in 2 steps. First, I will use the VLOOKUP function. Lookup value is going to be the distance for the individual student. Table array located A21 through F24. And I'm pressing F4 to toggle that. Comma. Column index none. It's the second column of this table array. So it's going to match on the first column the distance in miles and then retrieve from the second column cost per year. This time it is an approximate match, not an exact match. I will put it incorrectly first as an exact match so you'll see what happens. What you'll see is that some of them will come back with NA. Now this one, distance, comes back 2,500 because it matches blank to blank. 5 brings you back 3,000 because it matches 5 to 5. But when you get to 18, in that first column, there is no 18. Same thing with 12. There's no 12 exactly. And also 15 and 21. There's no 15, there's no 21. So for these miles, what we really want is an approximate match, which essentially means that it's going to look for it in a range. So I'll change it to what it should be, which is true for approximate match. And now you see that it's able to retrieve for 18, it's able to figure out that 18 falls between the range 10 to 20. It drops back to the lower end of the range and it retrieves 3,500. Likewise for 12, it looks down the first column in the table array, figures out that 12 falls between 10 and 20, drops back to the lower value and brings back 3,500. The way 21 works is it figures out that 21 exceeds 20, falls back to the 20, and brings back the 4,000. But this formula is not complete because right now, by using just the VLOOKUP, I'm retrieving values for all of the students, even ones who are not going to be using the bus service. And that doesn't make any sense. So what I have to do is embed the VLOOKUP within an if statement and set up a conditional test that says if the bus column is equal to yes, then I will do the VLOOKUP to retrieve the associate bus cost. Else, there is no bus cost associated. Total due is equal to the sum of tuition, lunch, insurance, bus cost. In row 17, calculate the totals. In column I, calculate the summary information. When you think you're done, double check by looking at the instructions, the screen capture. So I noticed, for example, that I forgot to do list total. Add that in.